Today we're going on a trip on memory lane, and I want to show you my first ever PC, my first ever console, and the only Game Boy I knew at the time. Welcome to 90s Romania. Okay, so I've started collecting all these retro consoles, and I knew for sure that I had to have these three in my collection because these were the ones that I grew up with. These are the ones that actually got me into gaming, so I couldn't resist and I had to track them down and get each and one of them. It was a bit hard because you cannot track them everywhere at the moment, well, except for this. You probably have seen it several times already, but for the other two it was a bit difficult. And actually for this one it's still not complete because this specific model is not working, but for today's video we still have something to test the games, so don't worry, we'll still test this out. Alright, so we have these three, let's get to each and one of them. Okay, first thing first, we have this keyboard looking like PC. And actually this was the first time I ever used something similar to a PC, and even the first time I ever played a game. So what you have in front of you is the AC91. This is actually a Romanian based PC, which you can hook up to the TV and do a bit of coding, but this is a Romanian brand. There was something international and I think it was called Spectre, so you probably heard of those games, and you could play all those games from Spectre on this specific model. And funny enough, the games that you had to play on this, you couldn't really insert it anywhere, and as you can see there aren't any slots that you can plug this into. So how you had to play these games, you had to hook this up to a cassette player, and then you'll have these weird sounds, and I'll post them right here and you'll see what I'm talking about. And then you'll have to wait for a couple of minutes or even more than that, and then the games will load most of the time because sometimes it didn't want to load and you have to restart. And once you were there, you could play your games. And how you could store those games were actually on this type of cassettes. This specific model, it's actually the demo that the AC91 came with. This was the method on how you have to play the games. The easy part was that if you had two tapes in the same recorder, then you can just copy them and it will work straight away. So it was quite easy to get your hands on games. I do have fun memories with this. I still remember getting this on Christmas, and I think it was in 93, 94 if I'm not mistaken. So that was a fun Christmas. Me and my brother got this, so it was fun. And then I had a couple of games. I do remember a fighting game, and I've been trying to track that game for ages. I couldn't remember the name. I tried to track it down everywhere. I asked questions on Reddit. These are just some blurry memories that I have, but I do remember that was one of my first games I ever tried. And the second game I was talking about was Rastan for the ZX Spectrum. I had so much fun playing that game, and I didn't know how to play games at all at that time. And I remember that I was actually scared to try them out. I was worried that I would just die in the game and I don't know what to do, and I have to ask my brother to play it, and I will just sit around and watch it. So it was fun, and I'm really happy that at least now I remember one of my first games I ever played. And actually I want to show you that this is the box it came in, and as you can see I still have the power brick over here, power source, then you can hook this up to the TV, and I even have the manual. And as I said, this also came with a demo cassette. Basically this is a complete in-box AC91. So that was for the AC91. Let's move to the next. Okay, so as you can see, this was called Ending Man or the Terminator, and actually around my friends and most people will just call it the Terminator, and I'm still trying to look for a functional model. This doesn't power on. This was just a Chinese knockoff for Nintendo, and yeah, you could play most of the games that you would play on the NES on this one. You even have a zapper for this. This is not the official one, it's just a replica. So yeah, I could play Duck Hunt on it. And actually the cartridge we had for this console were looking like this. If you grew up in this part of the world, you probably know about this type of cartridges, and as you can see here is 999 in one. Basically you'll have different ROMs from different games on it. As you can see, this is the full cartridge, and the rest was just empty. There weren't 999, of course. You basically have, I don't know, maybe 10 games. It depends on the cartridge, but you get several games, just the same game. Like let's take Super Mario, you'll have the regular game starting from World 1-1, then you'll have the same game starting from World 4-1 for, I don't know. So it was the same game from different levels. Funny enough, this was also a present for Christmas, and very fun memories for me around Christmas for gaming wise. On the AC91 I started playing games, but this is how I actually got into gaming, because we could get so many games back then, and Super Mario Brothers is still one of my favorites. I got like 7 different versions of it. Okay, and last but not least, this is what me and my friends thought the Game Boy was all about back then. We just knew that the Game Boy had these bricks like in Tetris, where basically we knew about Tetris, but we didn't actually see back then a genuine Game Boy. Yeah, it was fun living in Romania in the 90s. If you remember, the cartridge from the previous one was 999 in one. Well, this has 9999 in one. It's more or less the same logic. You get the same game in different speeds, different levels and all that. So as you can see, this is just a boxy, pixelated Tetris-like console. And you got some games like, this is something similar to Tanks. I cannot even see anything, to be honest, from my angle over here. Did I die? Yeah, apparently I did. And as you can see, we have different games over here. This is actually Tetris, but this is in the regular speed. I don't know what version I got over here, but this is how I knew about Tetris. And sorry for being so bad at this, but I cannot see a thing from this angle, and I don't know if you can see it. So this is basically what I see in this moment. Yeah, this is basically my Game Boy, my childhood Game Boy. I think every kid on the block had this in different colors, different shapes, different screen sizes. It was a lot of fun until I got a bit older and I could get a proper PC. This was actually how I was doing gaming. Well, this was just on the side because I usually played on this one. But it was so much fun. I was going to friends were coming over, we could play together, and we had challenges like in Duck Hunt or Mario. It was a lot of fun. I know that most of you will not know about these, but I just wanted to make this video, especially now around Christmas, because originally I got them for Christmas and I got fun memories out of it. And if it weren't for these 3 consoles, I would probably never got into gaming, and the channel would not be possible today if we didn't have this console. So I'm super excited and super happy that I have these in my collection. So let me know in the comments if you want to continue with this series to feature more consoles. I have so many handheld consoles, but I also got my hands on a couple of regular consoles like Xbox, PlayStation. Let me know if you have any questions about these or other consoles, and I'll make sure to answer that in the comments. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, enjoy a bit of time with your family, and if this will be my last video posted for this year, I also wish you a Happy New Year, and stick around because 2023 will be interesting for the channel. We're now on the final milestone to 1000 subscribers, so make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Alright, again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and until next time, this is the Tech Unravel, and I'll catch you in the next video.